Today I'll show you my affordable phase linear bookshelf speakers in 30-liter enclosures, which offer sound fidelity comparable to branded high-end models, but at a much lower price. Because of my work, I constantly have to test amplifiers, streamers, and digital to analog converters. And the main problem is that it's very difficult to find a speaker system that accurately and consistently reveals the differences between all these devices. Almost any speaker adds its own noticeable coloration, and when a speaker colors the sound, I end up hearing not so much the character of the amplifiers or the digital to analog converter, but rather the characteristics of the speaker system itself. Even if you take fairly expensive branded bookshelf speakers in the home audio segment, it turns out that they all sound different, and this gets in the way of testing. Working with Reflector Audio gave me the solution. At first, the studio got active phase linear monitors, Reflector Audio Square 2, which are great for testing digital to analog converters and streamers, but they have a nuance. The amplifiers are already built in, but sometimes you need to listen to passive speakers, for example, with your vintage amplifier, a modern streaming combo, or an inexpensive Chinese Class D amplifier. I needed passive, phase linear, and as neutral as possible speakers that would allow for honest hardware testing. And at the same time so that the price doesn't skyrocket. Together with Reflector Audio, we came up with a simple and relatively inexpensive solution: sound panels that turn almost any suitable enclosure into honest monitor bookshelf speakers. The idea is very simple. You buy a ready-made panel with speakers, a horn tweeter, and a crossover. Then you either insert it into existing enclosures from old speakers with a volume of about 30 liters or more, or you make a new enclosure from scratch for these panels. If you have old bookshelf or floor-standing speakers with good volume, keep the enclosure and just cut an opening using the template. And install the panel there. You'll need to dampen the box, insert a bass reflex port of the right size, and you'll get a completely different level of sound with minimal cost. If you lack an enclosure, making one yourself is easy. I have 30-liter boxes that previously held other speakers. The approximate dimensions are: height is 39 centimeters, width is 28, depth is 35 centimeters. Use particle board or medium density fiber board to build the enclosure. Add a 70 mm by 200 mm bass reflex port. Dampen 1/3 of the space opposite the speaker and screw on the panel. The complex tasks, selecting speakers, crossover, and geometry, are already handled for you. The crossover features point-to-point wiring, uses moondrop components, and is vibration isolated from the panel enclosure. Another scenario is installing them in the walls next to your television like home theater speakers. Then, the minimum internal volume is 12 to 15 liters, and you'll also need a subwoofer. Let's summarize the hardware. The operating frequency range is about 40 to 25,000 Hz, with a variation of around plus or minus 2 decibels, sensitivity is 89 decibels, and the maximum power handling is about 50 watts. The panel features premium speakers from Italian company Fatal. The cutout dimensions for integration are 298 by 198 mm, depth is 85 mm, and the phase response is as flat as possible. This is phase linear behavior. The impulse response is very accurate, without long tails or smearing. Thanks to the flat amplitude frequency response, linear phase, and precise impulse, this speaker system delivers the monitor character required for accurate testing. You hear the instrument's texture, attack, decay, and microdynamics, not the box's coloration. The direct sound level matches branded bookshelf speakers priced between 2,000 and 4,000 euros. I'm not just making this up. I'm saying it based on comparisons with different branded systems that I've listened to before. And here, there's a significant advantage in detail and clarity precisely because of the linear phase response. Now, the most interesting part is how these bookshelf speakers perform with different amplifiers. Ampapa is an affordable Chinese entry-level option, and Ampapa D1 offers a great starter combo. This is an entry ticket into the world of honest sound. The bass is tight and detailed, the mids are clear and articulate, the highs are clean and delicate, and the texture of the music is preserved even in complex genres like rock and metal. Instruments don't blend into a mess. The soundstage is honestly built from left to right, and in terms of depth, the amplifier provides layering. The TPA-3255 even produces three-dimensional images of the musicians, which is unexpected. And the space feels lively and natural. Ever solo play. I would describe the sound character as neutral silk. The device avoids both excessive softness and aggression. It draws you in effortlessly, with a well-balanced timbral sound. Ever Solo gives a good deep bass filled with energy and a quality vocal range. The neat highs are not tiring, but at the same time let you hear everything that's present in well-mixed recordings. The music's texture is excellent. You can clearly hear each part and enjoy your favorite band's nuances. If the band's recording matches the quality of Ever Solo Play's digital to analog converter. And finally, my personal favorite in combination with these panels. Wime Amp Ultra has balanced, natural sound without exaggerated highs or bloated bass. Its vocals are slightly emphasized, with detailed, clear music texture. The amplifier controls the speaker drivers perfectly, allowing you to hear the parts of every member of your favorite band. On well-recorded tracks, you can hear the nuances of guitars, vocals, and cymbals. The soundstage is detailed and deep, and thanks to the dual amplification chip, there is clear layering and separation of instruments. This isn't high-end level, but it's already quite respectable. Honestly, none of the TPA-3255 amplifiers I've heard offered such bass drive, precision, and control. And this works both at low and high volumes. Superb control. Blindfolded, I'd guess this is a 1,500 or 2,000 euro amplifier. This is one of those cases when you forget how much the hardware costs and just listen to the music. But of course, no one is limiting you. If you want, you can connect a vintage amplifier or something like a Macintosh. The panel can easily handle a great hardware upgrade. As I said, their potential is 3,000 to 4,000 euros due to no phase distortion. What do these sound panels actually do? For me, it's an affordable passive studio reference for honestly comparing amplifiers, streamers, and digital to analog converters. For a music lover, turning sturdy old cabinets into genuine high-end bookshelf or floor-standing speakers without spending thousands of euros on new ones. It's a fast way for beginners and professionals to get phase linear monitor speakers with flat frequency response and reliable results. Assembly is simple, cabinet requirements are clear, and components are easy to find. As a result, you get speakers that are on par in sound quality with branded bookshelf speakers costing 2,000 to 4,000 euros, but still remain at a budget price. If you're interested in upgrading your speakers or build your own high-end bookshelf speakers using pre-made panels, leave your questions in the comments, and I'll try to answer them as thoroughly as possible. This was Arkady Zenin from Premium Hi-Fi. That's all for now. May the power of the right sound be with you. Feel free to stop by.